This program is brought to you by Ignite TV. Now you're in command. Visit Rogers.com for more details.
As mentioned, I'm Fred Wallace along with Denise Reid. And Denise, let's once again reinforce what we're about on Living Well, Giving Well.
Well, hopefully we're giving our viewers the idea of how do we live well and how do we give well, and giving information on whether it's will preparation, whether it's our arts and culture, which is what we're going to be talking about today. Just how can we be involved in the community? How can we plan for our futures? How can we plan for our families and make our community a better place?
Coming up on the program today, David Adair will be joining us on the back half of the program. David is the business manager for the Georgian-based Symphony, and we'll be hearing lots about their programs and activities and concerts that are coming up. But it's time to meet our first segment of guests, including a welcome back, Denise.
Yes, Aidan, we had you last week, so we appreciate you coming back. Give us a little bit of your background again.
Sure. I'm the Director and Chief Curator of the Art Gallery, Culture and Tourism for the City of Owen Sound. I oversee the Thomson Art Gallery as part of my portfolio. And so that is an important part of what I do, and we seek lots of donations and support through that aspect of my portfolio, but also through events in tourism at the Tom as well.
Yeah, and I think last year well, it felt maybe it felt like last week you talked a little bit about your liaisons with other people and other groups, and Tim Nicholls Harrison is here from the Owen Sound Library. Give me the actual name, though. It's not the Owen Sound.
Denise. Yes, we're the Owen Sound and North Grey Union Public Library because it's the three municipalities of Chatsworth, Georgian Bluffs, and Owen Sound sharing library services. And then we also, through an agreement with the Meaford Public Library, provide services to people who have a Meaford Library card as well.
And you guys work together, which is great, right?
Yeah.
Arts, culture, music, and David will be joining us in the second half too, all putting it together to offer to our communities.
Absolutely.
Denise, we're really lucky. We call it the Open Team, but it's the four organizations, cultural organizations we're in the downtown, the Waterfront Heritage Center, the Billy Bishop Museum, the Tom Thomson Art Gallery, and the library. We've seen a number of opportunities to be able to do things together that would be challenging for us as smaller organizations to leverage, but by working together we've been able to do some really unique partnerships over the past couple years, including sharing that access that if you get your library card, we call it an open card, and you have access to all four of our institutions, which is really cool.
Well, and I think that's great for our communities, but it's also, I think, great for you guys because you get to use the expertise of all the different groups and kind of, I don't know, what do you call it, like check your brain or just use all the abilities and the creative juices that everybody has that can be beneficial. It's not just only you that has to think about it all.
I would say that it allows us to have the opportunity to address not only challenges that we see in our workplaces and in our institutions, but also the opportunities in the community. And as Tim said, we can take on projects that we might not be able to individually together, such as like we helped launch Pollinate Owen Sound. I talked a little bit about that on the last segment, and we received grant funding to do that, and we're continue to support that and work on that. And that wouldn't have existed, I don't think, without the Open Team.
Yeah, let's talk about Pollinate Owen Sound. Tim, tell us about the project and the initiative and where you're going with it.
So we've been really fortunate over the past 2 years to get some sponsorship dollars and support from the TD Friends of the Environment and from Bruce Power, and that's allowed us to move ahead with a number of projects. So if you've been by the Billy Bishop, that's where we've started, and they working with the community, we have a garden there now, which represents native planting, and that gives a better opportunity for the environment than bringing in plants that aren't native to the area. It really has to do with sustainability and protecting our insects, and from there everything else, right? And that's something that we didn't necessarily have the wisdom and knowledge about. We thought it we had the expertise. Gardeners thought they had the expertise, and now they're understanding, hey, we need to rethink some of these things. For us, we were fortunate that we also were able to reach out to the local Indigenous community, and so we've actually identified the plants. So we have the Aboriginal, the Indigenous name for the plants, as well as the Latin and the English names. So it's just grounding the great word.
Yes.
It's grounding everything in what is here and respecting what's here and helping us to do something that is going to provide for the future. So stop by Billy Bishop, take a look, and Aidan and I are working on a combined activity, again with a number of community members who have been so incredible to support Pollinate Owen Sound Group, and we'll have that moving ahead next spring, summer, and see where that goes, and then the same to do some more at the Waterfront Heritage Center too. So it's a really neat, unique project to be able to do this together. But the coolest thing is if somebody had come and said, hey Tim, we want the gardens at the library to be this, I would have been very nervous. Mm-hmm. Oh, if I do it, and what if somebody doesn't like it, or what if it's wrong, or what if it's not perfect? But by doing it together, we can all just say, we're doing our part, it's a learning experience for all of us, and we're going to get better at it.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Working together once again, for the community. I guess if I'm looking at the business end of it, last week you talked about funding, and you've just talked about funding where you got the money for this. That's such a crucial part of it, and I'm assuming time consuming.
Yes. Opportunities like this are great. Right. For example, we're fortunate with the library that some people do give bequests and want to have some legacy around things, and so there is that opportunity. And so sometimes with that planned giving, that really helps us, because we're as much as I'm chasing it right now by saying it, we're not chasing it in that the people understand where they want to see that work done and are very kind with their contributions. So
and
that
I
is
think the
helpful.
question for both of you is how different and how many ways can people support, be it the Tom Thomson Art Gallery or support the library? There's all kinds of different ways they can do it other than strictly with a financial out of my pocket now. And I'll start with you, Aidan.
Absolutely. So there are, as you said, a number of different ways. One thing we have is you can purchase our fundraising calendar. So it's not a straight up donation, but it actually really is a big support to the Tom. It's $20. It's a calendar we produce every year that features works from the collection. People can also join our supporters circle, which is a type of membership, and it gains them different access to different benefits than the open card would per se. And then on top of that, we also look for volunteerism and support for some of the administrative aspects of our operations as well. So those are all really positive things and ways to get involved, but also just coming to things, like enrolling your kids in the classes we have, getting involved, coming to openings. Those are all really great ways to support the art gallery, I would say.
Yeah.
So I want to start with the volunteer part, and it's really neat because just last week on October 2nd, we were part of the Volunteer Association's volunteer fair at the library. So it was a fantastic opportunity for people to come in and find out about all different volunteer opportunities in our community, and that was great. And so from that, we were there as the library talking about some of those volunteer opportunities. Like we have Library to Go, where volunteers can take items to community members who aren't able to come to the library themselves.
Awesome.
And that's a really unique program. And the one that I've been connected to for the longest, the Adult Learning Center, people volunteering to help adults work on their reading, writing, math skills, and some of those challenges is an opportunity. We have our library book sale, and it runs every month now on the third Thursday, and it's all volunteer driven. So without the volunteers doing that, it wouldn't be possible.
Well, and we've talked about in previous episodes too that volunteering is always a good feeling on both ends, because organizations need it, but people feel good to do that. And then when you get that feeling, that compassion, that joining, could possibly end up in givings.
Yeah.
You know, and giving while they've been apart, seen what it's like, know how it can benefit the community, and that's where so that relationship can make a big difference.
And Denise, the coolest part about that is that lots of people think, oh, I don't know where I could volunteer or how I could do it. I mean, that was the cool thing about the fair. But the repair cafe that happens at the library, that's all volunteer driven. There are 50, 60 volunteers who help people keep things out of the landfill, right? And that's all done through the Georgian Bluffs committee that's been committed to that. So they come, they utilize the space at the library, and people have an opportunity to bring in an old lamp or other items and get it repaired right at the site.
I remember seeing that come out, and I thought, how ingenious. You know, once again, somebody's getting something fixed, and somebody's being able to be a part of volunteering and that. So we talked with Aidan last week a little bit about what COVID did on a negative, positive, and you know, going online to showing some of the collections. Has that been a part of the library's kind of evolving as well?
Yeah. It's interesting. Libraries are always early adopters of technology. We sort of need to, because we're like trying to manage a whole bunch of things at once. So as we moved in and dealt with the pandemic, that was certainly a response that we needed to do. The pandemic really hurt us. We saw our membership drop by at least 30%. Because people weren't getting out. So it's nice to see people back out in the community and doing things, but we have a huge amount of online content that the library is basically open 24/7. You can stream movies and television shows on all kinds of cultural topics. You have access to ebooks, audiobooks, magazines. We have a service that is Creative Bug, and it's thousands of video instruction on doing any type of craft. You can access that all with your card. So there's a huge amount of content-wise that you can visit the library from home. Okay.
Lots of great services. This is Living Well, Giving Well on Rogers TV, Grey County. David Adair, who's the business manager of the Georgian Bay Symphony, will be joining us in our second half. Coming up, we have a video featuring Huron Hospice.
Visit our website, come see us. You know, we're on First Ave West. We're right there downtown, so across the river from City Hall. Please come.
Lots of exciting things at the Thomson and at the library and with the Georgian Bay Symphony. Stay with us. We'll be back with more. This is Living Well, Giving Well on Rogers TV.
Hi, I'm Will LeGrand, and I'm the Community Engagement Coordinator for Huron Shores Hospice. Huron Shores Hospice provides compassionate end-of-life care in a home-like environment. And in this home-like environment, they're able to live out their final days well, outside of a hospital setting that might be a little more cold and clinical. In the hospice setting, they are provided with around-the-clock care from medical and nursing staff, as well as PSWs and our comfort care volunteers. Our hospice provides a home-like environment where the family members of individuals facing end of life can simply be family members because they know that their loved ones are taken care of by our medical nursing staff and our comfort care volunteers. When they come to visit their family members, they can just be a husband, a wife, a daughter, or a friend. They no longer have to carry the entire burden of care in these final moments where what really matters is that they get to spend time with their family members. Huron Shores Hospice isn't entirely funded by the province, so we rely deeply on our community's generosity and support. There are many ways to donate to Huron Shores Hospice. Every year we host several fundraisers, our Hike for Hospice in the spring, as well as our Handbags for Hospice gala in the fall. These are great events that bring the community together, but in addition to that, you can become a monthly donor through our monthly giving program. That way, we can count on your donations and be able to plan and budget accordingly. You're also able to make memorial donations to Huron Shores Hospice in the name of a loved one. And if you have your own idea for a fundraiser that you would like to go towards Huron Shores Hospice, we're happy to work with you to make it happen.
Welcome, David.
Thank you for having me.
Georgian Bay Symphony. Give us just a little background.
So the Georgian Bay Symphony was formed in 1972 by a group of local musicians who decided to put an orchestra together to enter the Kiwanis Music Festival.
Oh, okay.
And that year there was an adjudicator from the University of Western Ontario, now Western University, and he asked them afterwards, he said, would you guys like to form an actual orchestra? And they said yes, and that's how it started. It's a volunteer-driven organization. We do have a couple professional musicians, but the vast majority of our musicians are from Gray and Bruce, and they're mechanics, they're school teachers, they work at Bruce Point, like all different walks of life.
Music you love by people you know. What a great slogan.
Yeah, and it's absolutely true. And we play great music, and our musicians come from all over Grey Bruce, all different walks of life.
How big is the Georgian Bay Symphony at the moment, and how big can you get it? How big if you expand it?
We're at about 55 musicians, and we're always looking for more musicians, particularly string players, brass players. But about 55 to 65 is a good size for an orchestra if we have the right instruments.
Okay.
So, we're always looking for string players. If you play violin, let us know. And
I did in grade 8, but it wasn't pretty.
Okay.
It wasn't pretty.
Yeah.
So, I think we're very fortunate to have the Georgian Bay Symphony here, as well as the library, to the arts, culture, music for our city. I think that people sometimes forget that as much as they're enjoying all of it, it does take money to run the program, if you want to say, or programs. So tell us, David, how we had a little bit from Tim in the last segment, but we'll get Tim again to talk about it. How do you raise your money, and how do people get involved?
So we'll start with the money first. So our budget, about a third of our income comes from ticket sales. We have a pretty good subscriber base. We sell lots of tickets for our Christmas concert, our February Family Day concert is usually very popular. And about a third comes from sponsorships, advertising in our program, etc. And a third comes from donations. Without that sort of donation part, it would be very hard to do what we do.
Do you have, we all talk about whether in regular givings, whether it's a monthly giving, whether it's a one-time giving or that. Do you have people that have given? We talked in our last episode and our other episodes, and we'll continue, willpower.ca, about putting gifts in their will for arts and culture and music. Is that happening?
Yes.
Okay.
A few people have identified that they have left a bequest for us in their will. Sometimes you don't know. It is something that we're encouraging people to do. That when you're doing your estate planning, you can leave 90% of your your inheritance to your children. Set 10% aside and look at those organizations in the community that you support and create a legacy.
Which, and of course, we talked about the legacy part of it. And Tim, do you experience that as well? When you're looking, I'm sure the City of Owen Sound helps, but where else does it come from?
So our core dollars come from the municipalities, but that alone would not be sustainable for us. So we're very fortunate and that people do see the value of libraries and want to be connected to that. So it might be, for example, our magazine collection is significantly larger than we could normally do because about 50% of them are paid by community groups and individuals who sponsor the magazines. We have a program called Honor with Books, and you can give a donation in memory of someone or in honor of somebody, and we'll plate a book. In that. So we have people who it's their 50th wedding anniversary and they would like to have a book in the library recognizing that, or the passing of a relative, they would like the person remembered. And we've been very fortunate to have people who say, I like to support some mystery books or do that type of thing and have some direction around what their family member might have wanted to be connected to in the collection. So that's a great part. And we do have Canada Helps, so people can give ongoing donations if they want. We have people who do leave donations in as a bequest to us. And then we also are part of the Grey Bruce Community Foundation, and people can give a contribution there. Okay. The interesting thing about the contribution to the Community Foundation is that those dollars, we get a portion of it, that interest piece, and it helps us with ongoing programming, but it allows people to leave dollars forever, because, and that's a really unique opportunity.
Which is a great legacy.
Yeah.
You know, it certainly is. This is Living Well, Giving Well on Rogers Television. I'm Fred Wallace along with Denise Reid. Our guest for this portion of the segment, David Adair from the Georgian Bay Symphony and from the Owen Sound North Grey Union Public Library, Tim Nicholls Harrison. Let's talk about the exciting stuff for both of you, starting with you, Tim. Programs that you have available now or what you're excited about on the horizon. And David, I know you've got 5-6 concerts coming up. 24, 25. So let's get to the fun stuff.
Yeah. So head to our website, take a look at everything's there under our newsletter and under our programming. But coming up next week, October 17th and 18th, we're having an author fair. Local, think of it like Scholastic Books when you were a kid. This is over 30 local authors in the library at the same time with booths with their books. Their material might be a great holiday gift for people coming up. It's really unique. We're so excited about it. It's the first time we've done something at this scale or size, and it was just, we said, you know what, we want to give something back to the community and recognize the amazing creativity and content that's local. And in a way, it's a real homage to Andrew Armitage, our past chief librarian, who was so supportive of local writers. So we're really excited about it. Come on out. It's going to be the Friday and Saturday. It's starting in the afternoon. The author's going to be there during the day. We're going to be giving them an opportunity to take over the library PA system and give a little blurb about their book. So yeah, it's going to be fun.
That's good.
Isn't that great? David, I know you've got one coming up very soon, and of course Christmas. So tell us your agenda this year for your concert.
So first of all, we have a brand new music director this year. Last year we had a different conductor for each of the 5 concerts. It was their audition. So we have hired Jeffrey Pollock, who is also the director of the Symphonia Ancaster down Hamilton Way. He's now our new director, and it's nice to have someone at the helm to do that. Our first concert is the 26th of October, and it's called Horns of Plenty, Plenty of Horns. So we're kind of playing on it's a very fall themed concert. We're doing Vivaldi's Autumn, which is probably one of the most popular pieces of music. So it's all fall themed. There'll be lots of brass. It'll be a very exciting concert, I think, for people. Christmas, now it's the 14th, whatever the Saturday is, the 14th or the 15th. People can come and look on our website as well for all of the dates. We will be playing the music from One Magic Christmas, the Disney movie that was filmed in Owen Sound.
Right, that's right.
People may remember
1985.
1985. Down, there was a whole bunch of us went down as extras to the City Hall around the old tree there.
Grandma Lee's.
Yes.
Yes, I'm dating myself.
Yeah.
I know what you're talking about.
So we've got the music for that, and then just all kinds of Christmas music. February, on the Family Day long weekend, is a concert all about music from the movies. We're going to be doing Lord of the Rings. We're going to be doing, if you've heard it in a movie, and it's classical, we'll be playing it, but we'll also be playing music that was written specifically for movies.
The basketball scene in Hoosiers, that was classical music.
Yep.
You know? And again, I'm showing my colors here. We're running towards the end of the program here on Living Well, Giving Well. So let's go back to you, Tim, and then to you, David, again. How can people support, either in terms of time or in terms of financing, both the library and the Georgian Bay Symphony?
Yeah, please take a look at our website, reach out to us. Happy to talk to people about individual opportunities or what might be best tailored for them.
David?
Yeah, so GeorgianBaySymphony.ca. We also have a Facebook page. we're always looking for volunteer musicians. We look for volunteers to help us at the concerts, and people can make donations. One of the things we do is you can sponsor a musician, and that money helps us to actually purchase and rent the music that we play.
Very good. Is there a faster half hour on television?
I mean, I think it's great, and I love I can feel the passion always, and I think when you talk and I think that's what gets people wanting to be involved. And in this modern day, look at the website. Look at the website. Do look at Facebook. I mean, that's how we can communicate with all generations.
And it makes you proud to be a resident of Owen Sound or Grey County as well. We've got the Thomson, we've got the library, we've got the Georgian Bay Symphony, we've got so many more, and you can support them all. And again, Denise and I would like to stress and recommend that you go to willpower.ca. Very simple webpage, lots of stories there, lots of ideas, and lots of ways that you can support your community. Coming up, we've got Taylor Brown. He'll be joining us from the Brown Family Funeral Homes. They'll be our next guest when we return on Rogers TV. This is Living Well, Giving Well.
Smudging is a very important part in our life as we're all learning to walk the good way. When we smudge, we use the sacred medicine, the white sage, the sweetgrass, the tobacco, and the cedar. It cleanses negative energy and replaces it by a positive energy. When I smudge, I cleanse my end and my eagle feather and start cleansing my breath to have better words. I will smudge my eyes so I could see the better things offered to me. I will smudge my ears to hear the good thing that people have to say. I will smudge my hair to have good thinking from my head. I will bring the smudge to my feet so I could walk in respect with our Mother, the Earth. Smudging is the way we give our prayers to connect our spirit to the Creator. We express gratitude for the gift of life, the learning, and growth.
Connect with us by visiting our website or email us at comments@rogerstv.com.
With Rogers TV, you can cheer on the home team from the comfort of your living room. We'll head to the rink, the field, the court, or the pitch, so you don't have to. Tune in and cheer on your local amateur athletes on Rogers TV.
This is a man's heart, a heart in desperate need of medical attention. But because 78% of Indigenous people experience racism in healthcare, he may not get the help he needs.